So here's a little update on this head. This is my sheath. It's, I don't know if you would call that ghetto or redneck, but it's I bought it at the same time as the head. It was at a junk store. I just noticed that it fit. This is an old cell phone case for like one of those big Nokias. And this was the belt loop, so you'd wear it on your belt. And then I just drilled it out, drilled out the rivets, and swung the belt loop around and put a snap on it with a scrap piece of leather. So I kind of like it. Here's the head. I guess I should have cleaned it up a little bit, but anyway. So what happened was that, you know, after I got it hardened, later on I was limbing a tamarack and I got a big chip out of it, and I figured it was too brittle. So I pulled the head off and I actually tried to temper it in my oven at home. So I just did it at 450 for half an hour, took a file and checked it, and then did it again for half an hour, twice more. So basically an hour and a half total. And I could tell the difference with the file. So, but the issue is that it was harder here down at the heel than at the toe. And so I had to stop before I could actually file the heel. So I ended up having to grind it on the sander. But I think it's probably a lot less brittle now. You know, the hardness has gone down back into, I think, normal working axe range, I would say, at least as far as I could tell. Anyway, so now it's rehung, and it's got a Manitoba maple wedge, or I guess in the States you would call it box elder. It's very, you can see how ragged the kerf is because it's been hung so many times. But the box elder really fills it out well. It's actually quite a utilitarian wedge wood. I really like it. I find it works really great. It also looks nice if you find a piece with the red streaks in it, which is pretty common. And here's the handle. It's, you know, it's a little rough. It was the second handle I ever carved. The first one was just a hatchet. So it's got like some tool marks in it, which is something that I don't mind. I think it looks okay. But the piece of wood I got, you know, I used it because it was a piece I had that was dry, but it's got some knots, a couple of wormholes in it, an inclusion, and this crack. So this was the, I saved the nicer side to make a handle for my sister's axe. But yeah, this one's held up quite well. I really like the look of the wood, especially this side. This is the heartwood side. But also this side, I think, you know, it ages well. Like it starts to darken up actually pretty quickly after you carve it. So yeah, and it wears really well. So ironwood or hop-hornbeam is very, very tough. So probably it's actually tougher than hickory. It might not have other properties as nice as hickory. It might not be as elastic or shock absorbent, although I haven't noticed any issues with this at all. It feels fine to me. But you know, for overstrikes or just wear and tear around the throat of the axe handle, you know, it wears that stuff quite well. Certainly way better than ash, and probably better than hickory. So it's you know, pretty nice handle wood if you can get it. It's just hard to find pieces that are big and straight enough. But yeah, seems to be forgiving and durable.